Hello everyone, welcome back. We have very exciting news as a lot of stuff has been announced for the future of Total War, including the next DLC for Total War Warhammer 3, a new engine, and Medieval 3. Now, if you saw Creative Assembly's reveal, it was an hour long, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over certain bits of information, cut out some stuff which is just either repeated or not relevant to my channel, and yeah, we're going to talk about quite a lot of things. There will be timestamps in the description below. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, as this is going to be a fairly long video, but there is so much, and I mean so much, to talk about. I'm not including their intro because it's literally just them saying, hey, we've been here 25 years, and they've talked about previous games. We're going to talk about only all the new information.
My ascension. The world is ending, and I shall reign over oblivion. Come to me, and for eternity you will serve. Citra does not serve. Citra rules. So be it. I am death incarnate. This world will kneel.
Alright, we're going to stop here. I really wanted to stop throughout the whole trailer, but oh my god. So, Lords of the End Times has been confirmed as the brand new DLC for Total War Warhammer 3. And as you can see, there are some big additions. We can see NAGASH, which is absolutely awesome. It was kind of expected. Assembling all the Mortarchs, going through the usual thing of the end times. So Krell, Manfred, ARCHAON, and a lot of other characters will be serving as his heralds, essentially. NEFERATA was also included in this trailer, which is absolutely amazing, and she is riding on a Dread Abyssal. Those are the end-time specific mounts that are just really, really cool. I'm really happy to see the three factions involved here, because obviously it's the Vampire Counts, the Vampire Coast, and also the Tomb Kings. I was worried that they were going to forget WALACH Harkon for this, because it's a small plot point that he has. He's mostly just picking up daisies whilst everything else is going to shit. But yeah, this is super cool. I'm actually pretty hyped up to see the announcement of not only NAGASH, but just all the little nods there. It was really interesting seeing WALACH Harkon there too. It has been confirmed that the Blood Knight with the Chalice is, of course, WALACH Harkon. Now, later information says that this will come around summer 2026. So, I mean, I guess it explains why things have been kind of silent lately. They've been working on this too. End Times content was always expected, especially since more and more End Times content started creeping in. But this looks like it's going to be the big one, and we're going to continue and stop where appropriate. There's so much to talk about here. I really hope I can get all the timestamps done correctly.
That's right. NAGASH has arisen, and he's bringing the apocalypse with him. He and his undead legions are finally invading Total War Warhammer in summer 2026 with the Lords of the End Times pack.
Okay, we have a release date of summer 2026. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything because summer for them is 3 months. And, well, there's a few questions here. Well, one is maybe it gets delayed again because EA have been dealing with a lot of delays. 2, is this the reason why Tides of Torment took so long? I mean, I imagine so, because they're probably trying to get stuff ready for Showcase, which, I mean, is kind of cool, don't get me wrong. But hey, at least we know that we're not going to have to wait another year for another DLC. Let's see if this ages like milk, right?
And he's not coming alone either. 3 other iconic legendary lords from the end times will be joining the fight, along with terrifying new units, devastating mechanics, and lore-inspired objectives. And yes, we've got a brand new free legendary lord for everyone to enjoy.
Okay, well, I'm assuming NEFERATA and WALACH. I mean, we know that we've got 3 more legendary lords and 1 FLC legendary lord. It's a big DLC. I wonder what this is going to be. I mean, there has been like rumors about this being larger, but does that mean NEFERATA, which apparently was supposed to be in another blog? Yeah, like I don't know, like in another blog a while back, they said that they were experimenting with NEFERATA as a single Lord's pack. So is she attached to this, or is she going to come out prior? You get why I'm confused, right? It's a bit weird. That other blog wasn't too long ago, so I'm a little bit confused here. Is WALACH going to be the legendary lord for free, I'm assuming? Or is it just going to be only vampires? Is it going to be Empire, Cafe, and whatever else?
Nagash isn't just a villain, he is the king of the undead. This is the ancient evil who turned Nehekara into a lifeless desert to claim dominion over the dead. His first attempt to extend that desert to the entire world failed, but he is back. And this time, he is more determined than ever. To bring that presence to life, we focused on making him feel truly imposing. As the greatest of all necromancers and wizards, he is a figure above politics and mortal concerns.
I want to stop here really quickly as, like, yeah, I mean, it's a really cool shot. It's not the best. We were given, like, a file which isn't, like, the best in terms of quality, as far as I've been able to see. But, yeah, I mean, this is cool. You see all the Mortarks bowing down to him, which is super cool. This might be hilarious in terms of, like, how many legendary lords you might be able to have in a single campaign. Because, I mean, an educated guess would say you should be able to have all of them, right? Unless they're going to be vassals? Well, could be. I don't know. It's just, I'm seeing all these characters and frothing at the mouth, especially, you know, NEFERATA, WALACH. I wonder what they've got. Maybe this is why they've refused to fucking update Krell for all these years. Maybe it's this. Literally just, oh yeah, Krell is going to be the more... Oh my god. I wonder how that works. If, like, Nagash is in, you wouldn't be able to summon Krell, right? Oh my god. I just had a really bit scary point. If Nagash is in, is Isabella dead? Yeah, because that's part of the lore, you know? Like, Isabella gets possessed by a demon. I wonder how that's going to work sandbox-wise, you know?
He does not need to motivate anyone. He simply states what will happen. His goal from the beginning is clear: to turn the world into a land of the dead. His undead corruption spreads relentlessly as he claims lost power, seizing the Black Pyramid, gathering his scattered books, and raising armies that stir simply from his presence.
So we have a new form of undead corruption, sorry Chaos Dwarfs, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. There's going to be stuff to do with the Black Pyramid and also collecting the books. Again, pretty much what's expected there. That's what he does during, like, the end times. I wonder what's going to happen with the Black Pyramid. Does it move around? Does it provide faction effects? Will we see it in battle? God, that just really puts me off every time that Carrion comes in and, you know, it's going to go for Cetra's Skull. But, yeah, I mean, I wonder what's going to go on there. The corruption looks really interesting, though. It's very, very different. Hopefully the finalization for corruption, you know, with the bordering could be fixed. That would be lovely. I mean, it's looking a lot better now since the last update and so on, right? But, like, it would be nice if it was more fluid.
And he doesn't come alone. Nagash can summon his Mortarchs by luring them from other factions. Archon the Black, for example, who abandons his Tomb King ties to ride a Dread Abyssal and flood the world in deadly witchlight.
It's a bit weird saying to ride the Dread Abyssal and then just show Neferata, I'm not gonna lie. But, okay, so you lure the factions away. I guess it's gonna maybe work kind of like Sea Lord Aisling, where you take the legendary lords and then the faction becomes like a minor faction or something. I see Luthor Harkon being pointed out, so it's good to see that Luthor Harkon is likely, at least I'm assuming, going to be taken. I do hope that means that we can get a lot of like Vampire Coast units. Like in a perfect world, we'll get all 3 rosters, right? Because that's actually part of the lore, whereas on the tabletop it was only Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings because, well, yeah, there was no Vampire Coast. It's good to see that the Dread Abyssals are coming in, though. I mean, that's fucking cool. Such a lovely mount model. I've painted up a few because like I've been trying to get those characters up and running for basically just I like the models. That and I tried and failed to try and kitbash them to make them look like they were on foot because I could use them in the old world or whatever. But hey, neither here nor there, right?
Nagash's arrival brings not only doom, but a unique undead roster that draws from both the Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings, uniting ancient death and vampiric horror under one banner.
Oh my god, I hope that she's misspeaking there and it's not going to be just them two. I really hope not. I really hope it's all 3 of them. As per the lore, it's supposed to be all 3. Maybe it's just because like the tabletop. Yeah, this we'll see. Maybe it's just that it could just be going off like some script and it wasn't written well. It's happened before with CA.
From the crypts and catacombs rise ancient figures like WALACH HARKON, the ruthless blood knight whose blade has tasted the blood of kings.
I just want to stop here really quickly. Oh my god, he looks so freaking good. Like, seriously. I know. It's like, I can comment more, but oh, so freaking good. I'm such a big fan of this character. He is deranged and insane and just, yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe we're getting WALACH HARKON. It's just so weird. So is he like a legendary hero or is he a lord? Because I am assuming he'd be a lord. He joins Khorne at the end of the end times. You know, he goes a bit weird. I wonder how this goes.
He is joined by Tomb Heralds, the internal guardians of NEFERATA royalty.
I know this might not seem like an important thing, but I'm so happy. This is a BSB. This is the first BSB that we're getting. So for those who didn't play tabletop, BSB is a battle standard bearer. Yes, Stirkar and Albal have their banner, but a BSB is an unnamed character, so to speak. It's just a generic, god, they were like a core of your army, and they still are with the old world, but I am completely over the moon, This is awesome. It's likely going to be a buffer. That's basically what they do. It looks great too. Obviously, we just had new BSBs for the old world, and like, oh my god, these look great too. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome. Yep, the buffer character for Tomb Kings makes a lot of sense too, because I'm assuming these will also be used by the Tomb Kings.
And the towering Morghast Archai, created by Nagash's own hand to hunt the souls of the Defiant.
Yeah, these were kind of expected. They were introduced during the end times. They are super cool. Really satisfying to paint too. Kind of easy. Well, it depends on what scheme you go for. But, yeah, dude, such a great model. Such an amazing model. I can't believe that we're finally getting basically the wish list here.
And then there is the Khemric Titan, a colossal wall construct that stomps and flies across the battlefield like a walking apocalypse.
Oh, okay, call me surprised. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting this for like another possible Tomb King DLC. I mean, Nagash kind of falls on that, but oh my god, the Khemric Titan. So we never really had a model of this. There was a fan-made one out there, and really just the artwork and the rules, but oh my god. She says it flies. I really hope it flies. Like, because the Necrosphinx is supposed to fly, but it doesn't. So, could you imagine? This is going to be huge, right? Like, scale-wise, this is supposed to be massive. Oh, dude, like, Nagash is cool, don't get me wrong, but, like, this is something that we're finally getting seen flashed to life after literally just one piece of artwork. Oh, my God. Like, Could you imagine this becomes a model in the future? That would be amazing.
With all this in mind, Nagash's goal remains unchanged. He seeks to reclaim enough power to choke the life from the world itself, binding all undead to his will in a single, world-ending ritual, as is his grand design.
Bringing the end times to Total War Warhammer meant more than adding new content. It meant reshaping the very fabric of the campaign map to reflect the devastation unleashed by a host of apocalyptic events. Depending on their choices, players will witness a Warhammer world transformed. Lush meadows now drawn in molten rivers from volcanic eruptions. Earthquakes split the land into colossal fissures, rendering cities into ruins beyond repair. Craters from warp-fueled meteors scar the terrain, and entire continents may be left barren. The campaign map has never felt so apocalyptic and alive, and we're thrilled for players to shape their own vision of it.
So they're really going in for the end times. Holy crap. That means, yeah, map devastation. Oh god, like, can we litter the map? Can we just like completely turn it into like death? Oh god, like obviously we have to wait and see with everything because it's easy to talk and then we have to just like see it rather than that. And they have shown some clips. This is looking really fucking good. Oh lord. See, on one hand, really, really cool. On the other hand, end times content, end time storyline. This is looking really impressive though. This is looking really, really impressive.
Of course, such devastation means new battlefields. Our team has crafted epic new maps to reflect the chaos. Players can expect battles fought within the sunken ground of an earthquake fissure, with lava pouring from all sides, fighting at the very edge of an erupting volcano, or in giant craters created from warpstone meteor showers. It's nothing short of the monumental destruction only the end times could bring.
This is all very, very cool, but I have one question. Can we blow up the moon? I really want to blow up the moon. I mean, this sounds really good. There has been a massive, massive lack of battle maps for a long time now. So seeing new maps would be good, especially if they're going to be evolving around what happens around the map itself. Warhammer 3 struggles with a lot of slope maps, which are just like very one-sided, and it becomes kind of boring. So yeah, I mean, this sounds great. Honestly, like it actually sounds great. It'll be a nice change of pace to get some visual variety, which has been desperately needed for some time now.
We've really tried to make these key moments in the lore as immersive to play through as possible. One of the most haunting new settlement locations is Nagashazar, the dread fortress of Nagash himself. With its towering necromantic architecture, glowing skulls, and eerie green witchlight, it's a place where death reigns eternal. The environment team have poured their passion into crafting a map that feels otherworldly, so let's take a brief look at it in action.
Okay, we're going to jump into that in a second. It's just one thing Creative Assembly does very, very well is visuals. So I'm really, really hyped up about this. Like, for their faults with regards to certain things, visually, they've always been able to do really stunning things. I do very much wonder how this is going to go, because god damn it, man, like it's really weird seeing end times content.
This world dies. You let chaos claim it.
The transitions are definitely wonderful. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here. I guess this kind of explains why DLC has been taking so long. It looks like a lot of manpower has gone towards this. Hopefully it's worth it, I guess. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but yeah, I mean, this is expected. The end time story point is something that they could easily jump into, and it's a lot of stuff that they can really take from. Keep in mind that they've been taking from the end time stuff for a while, but it's the most consistent book series. I know it's really bad to say considering that the end time story is awful, but it's the only one that like had a proper timeline, whereas a lot of Warhammer Fantasy was just like fragmented novels and army books. So yeah, no, I totally get why they're going to do this. It just makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely not. This is just a moment in the Warhammer lifetime, and there's going to be more content still to come after this, I'm pleased to say.
So according to this isn't the last content drop for Total War Warhammer 3, expecting possibly more DLCs and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of expected. There's still a lot more that they can do. I mean, everything just kind of lines up with what's being leaked so far, it seems. So yeah, we'll see how this goes, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited. It's just I want to see more rather than, you know, the typical silence that generally follows after big announcements and so on, right? Like, it's been a quiet year. Let's see more of, like, more stuff coming out, yeah?
So, first of all, we're bringing a set of characters. One of them we'll discuss a bit later here. And there is another significant update that comes to the Immortal Empires that aims to bring the end times to your campaign while respecting the rules of the sandbox. So what we want to try and achieve is make the later stages of your campaign more interesting, like keep the choices impactful, keep the stakes high, and we're doing that by introducing end-time scenarios, which you might think are a bit like the current existing crisis, but they're different from them in various ways. Like, for example, an end-time scenario comes in phases. So there will be a build-up, there will be phases of actions, and at the end there is a culmination battle. Well, the entire scenario is resolved. And you might be able to overcome the challenge, the end times. You might be able to survive, or you might fail, and you might have to live with the consequences, or not live at all. An example of such a end time scenario is related to the most powerful necromancer in the world, who at some point might suddenly decide that he wants to exert his will over everything that has died. But to do that, he needs to make everyone dead. So this is something that you need to face and overcome. In addition to that, there are some significant changes while the end time scenario takes place to the visuals of the campaign and in battle, and also to the audio. So you will have all this different atmosphere related to Nagash or perhaps ARCHAON.
Alright, so I wanted to let him go throughout the whole monologue. End time scenarios sound quite interesting. I am worried about generally, well, just game scenarios haven't been great. It's coming in phases. I hope it's just going to work a little bit better and that you can't really cheese through them. There is a lot of cheesing when it comes to that. I think the most important thing is making sure that the scenarios just don't feel like, oh, look, it's a big army and you have to stop it and that's it, right? A little bit more. And I get they want to keep the sandbox being relevant. But the most important thing I would say is just making sure that it feels like it's part of it. If it's going to be a scenario, there needs to be a little bit more than just spawning armies. Control cities, maybe, for example, stop certain areas from getting too corrupted. That would help. Just make it thematic. Stuff with undead or stuff with chaos. Chaos stuff could easily work with just portals popping up and you'll have to stop them. I'm just throwing out some ideas. You never know what they've got planned for it, but I mean, they talked about it for a good, 2 minutes? That's not too bad. It's a little bit more information than I was expecting, to be honest.
I must admit, while I admire Nagash, ARCHAON is truly the closest one to my heart, and I love playing campaigns with him and uniting the forces of chaos and raining destruction upon the hapless rest of the world. So we are doing new things for ARCHAON. One of those is we're trying to refresh his entire experience by introducing a narrative feature that aims to put the player into the shoes and boots and mount of the 13th ever chosen. So this will be the story of how you as ARCHAON in your campaign, you bring about the end times. And in addition to that, we really want to update the visuals of ARCHAON's model. So he receives the proper visual quality that the 13th ever chosen deserves.
Okay, that was pleasantly surprising. ARCHAON the Ever-Chosen is likely to get a rework. So this sounds pretty interesting, actually. Because keep in mind that ARCHAON is like a big character for the end times itself. That's stated here by the developer. But not only that, his campaign has always felt a bit bland, you know? Not much is going on because you're kind of incentivized just to stay in the Northern Chaos Waste, and it's been the same for a lot of the Chaos Warriors. I do hope that we can actually see something fundamentally changed, not just for ARCHAON, but also the Chaos Warriors. I've stated this in the past, it would be nice to use souls to make Dark Fortresses. It'll push you down even further. And also like a vassal rework, because like that should have been in the Slaanesh DLC, but hey. I'd like to see him unite the tribes, you know, get all the forces of Chaos under his banner, maybe a devotion banner for him. Even though he's like against the Chaos Gods, he just kind of wants to see the world end, just so like his suffering can kind of end too, in a sense. So I'd like to see like bars there, like the more you get there, you could vassalize or control the other Chaos factions, tell them where to attack. Kind of like what happened, essentially, in the end times. It was a lot of coordinated attacks throughout various points of the world to make sure that everyone was kind of caught off guard. I think something like that would work really, really well. Well, obviously, we have to wait and see, and maybe they've got some ideas, like really good ideas already. I really want to feel like the Lord of the End Times, right? When I'm playing as ARCHAON.
The Supreme Lord of Undeath, and he would be the ultimate necromancer in our game. He's all about power. Dark, forbidden, lost and reclaimed, power to end the world. In battle, he will also be able to command a vast roster of different undead units from the currently existing ones and some new ones specifically unique to him. And on the campaign map, he will spread death across the land because he's not interested in conquest. He wants to reshape the world in his image, making it a lifeless desert. This is his ambition to rule over everything because this way they're obedient and subservient to him. And we want to give this power fantasy to the player. It's not that you are the hero in this case, you are the end. And this is the power fantasy drenched in the dark tone of Warhammer. When playing with Nagash, you will be having these mechanics that allow you to construct necropolises over where vibrant jungles used to be, and the change is permanent there. Defeat the faction like in totality, you'll be able to revert some of that.
All right, so this kind of sounds like the Beastmen Bloodgrounds in a certain sense, but different? Well, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. Again, this is all just kind of teaser stuff. We're not seeing anything until summer. I was about to say December 2026, but you never know. They said summer 2026. Things can change. So anything right now is, I guess, pre-alpha or maybe alpha. I mean, it sounds interesting. Bloodgrounds for vampires to kind of just like destroy, well, not vampires, but Nagash to just kind of destroy the world around it. Sounds pretty cool. It could work out quite well, but then you have to destroy the faction, he said. So what, permanently, unless Nagash is permanently taken down? I do wonder how strong Nagash is going to be and if there's going to be an option to be able to turn him off for campaigns if this is the case. We'll have to wait and see.
Yes, he comes with his own spell lore, inspired by the tabletop, and there'll be spells that are all unique to him, and we'll be making them in a way that plays in the spirit of Total War. So, not a direct translation, but inspired and certainly the flavor of the tabletop.
I do wonder how they're going to handle the Lore of Undeath, because it was one of those like really OP ones back in the day. Oh, I mean, it was an end time specific lore, but like, yeah, it was rough. And a lot of factions ended up getting access to it, so I do wonder how that's going to be too, because for some reason at some point in the end times, everyone can become a Master Necromancer. Yes, including dwarves. It was weird. But yeah, I think with this, we're just missing the law of Athaloran and then we're done, right? Weird, right? There's so many spell laws. But yeah, can't complain. New spell law is new spell law.
I can give you one thing. He's going to be bringing all of that good stuff that you just mentioned together. So he's going to be in command of the Vampire Counts, the Vampire Coast, and the Tomb Kings. He is the proper puppet master of them all, which I think is going to be a lovely, nod back to what we all enjoyed in Warhammer in the past, having control of all of this undeath.
Okay, earlier before we had just Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings, but it looks like Vampire Coast is going to be involved in some way, shape, or form, so it's going to follow the book. At least that's the way I'm interpreting it, and I hope that's going to be how it's going to be in campaign. But so far, so good. Hopefully this continues. All 3 rosters, plus I'm imagining some extra units, because, some have been confirmed, but I imagine a few more than just what we've seen so far.
So, first of all, it's important to say that unlike other undead factions that are comprised of different characters with different complicated relations, Nagash's faction is Nagash, his race is Nagash, everything revolves around Nagash and his will and his ultimate ambition to dominate over a dead world. In order to achieve that, he relies on his corruption, he relies over all the variety of undead units that he has under his command. He also relies on the presence of the Black Pyramid, both on the campaign and in battle. You will witness and you will command the Black Pyramid around the world. And in addition to that, he has also relies and demands the support of his Mortarchs, who are these special characters that are obedient to him and serve his will. And in the game, we're representing, I believe, all of them, Victor?
All 9 of them. The ones that were present in the End Times books. And so you can expect that when you play Nagash, they'll be doing their own things that are currently in Total War, those of them that are already there. And in time, when you grow strong enough, you'll be able to exert your will and call them to you. You will be able to choose in what sequence you, in what order you summon them. Some will be easier, some will be harder to dominate. And you'll be able to make them stronger in the process. Like when they become his lieutenants, they don't do it out of pure adoration. Some of them do, like Harkon, but others are just tempted by power. So when they become Mortarchs, they will receive new abilities, some stat boosts. Some of them get special mounts, like the Dread Abyssals, that will allow them to ride into battle. And they're also, like, when they join you, they'll be like bringing their lens with you, so to speak, but you'll be draining them of life in the way Nagash does with everything. So
holy shit! So there was a talk about the mechanics, right? And we kind of expected that the the Black Pyramid was going to be there and everything. But the 9 Mortarchs, that means the Nameless. Fucking constant Drakenfells. What? Wait. There's a few characters that we don't have in game yet. Obviously Neferata, Dieter Helschnitt, Walach, and the Nameless. That's 4, right? And then, Nagash, that's 5. Is that how it's going to be? Is this just only for the vampires? Right? Constant Drakenfells, oh my god. Right? We know he still remains in canon and stuff like that. He pops up in, mentions for Vermintide 2. It's weird. It's weird. I'm looking forward to seeing that and pretty much everyone else. Dieter Helschnitt will be very, very cool to see. That's a lot of new characters.
We can expect that all these new toys that we're adding, where appropriate, will be receiving other factions like Vampire Counts will be receiving access to.
Yeah, okay, this is expected. We've been seeing this with loads of DLC. Basically, new units, where appropriate, will get that. So the Khemric Titan should go to the Tomb Kings, and I'm assuming if we end up getting the Blood Coven, that's going to go to the Vampire Counts, the Coven Throne. Sounds great. No complaints there at all, which, is awesome. We've been seeing this a lot, especially now with Tides of Torment. I'm pretty happy about that. It does mean that we should, in theory, keep seeing this continue. There are loads of units that are multi-faction. I know some people aren't keen on that, but believe me, it ultimately helps a lot for loads of different factions. Beastmen have really benefited from this, for example.
Well, one itch I've been wanting to scratch is to get the Realm of Chaos battlefields actually into Immortal Empires. As you know, they don't feature within that map at the moment. So this is a new way in which we want you to experience those larger-than-life, colourful battlefields that the Realms of Chaos each have. And there'll be ways for you to transport yourself to those battlefields, to have those epic battles with the adversaries, the demons and the like, and have a lot of fun there and bring much more life and flair to Immortal Empires.
Okay, this is actually something that they talked about in the Q&A session, and it's something that a lot of people have been asking for, myself included. The Realm of Chaos maps are cool. This is like the battle maps, not the Realm of Chaos map itself. Seeing maybe some Chaos portals pop up would be wonderful, actually, a big boon to the game. It's just been a massive shame because there's been so many cool maps being introduced and we don't see it. Like, yeah, we see it every now and then with like Azazel's quest battle and so on, but it's not enough, right? It'd be nice to have them in generic battles, levels of high corruption being teleported away. Yeah, stuff like that would be awesome.
What I'm most excited about personally is the narrative chains that we're preparing for the new lords we're introducing, and also some of the existing lords, to be perfectly frank. And I'm really, really curious and excited as a Total War player to see how we will be able to tell the story of Nagash's rise to power and his domination over the world while still retaining the sandbox and retaining that player agency and the player choice. Well, yeah, if you're not playing as Nagash, it's very likely that you will have to survive the rise of power of Nagash. Whereas if you play as Nagash, you will be the one that rises to power step by step while you are doing your conquest and your spread of corruption and the extinguishing of life.
Okay, so new narrative chains. Hopefully I'm actually recording this time because it bugged out before. This is good to hear because narrative has been something that a lot of people have been asking for Immortal Empires, and it's kind of crept in with Tides of Torment, which is good to see. The DLC itself is the narrative, and it's very similar to that of Thrones of Decay. So yeah, if it happens here, that'll be great. I mean, you expect a narrative with Nagash, and you expect to deal with a narrative as someone else dealing with Nagash in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped up for that. You know, they sound very confident, so this is sounding fairly decent. We'll have to see how it goes, but I don't imagine we'll see a lot of detail regarding these DLCs until, well, you know, likely some point next year. They're going to close down for Christmas soon, and that's usually what happens. And that's fine, you know. At the end of the day, companies do that, and it's always good. The old company I used to work with used to do that, and it was a good break.
So, one very important thing that we're all quite excited about to announce is that with the release of the Lord of the End Times pack, you no longer need to own Warhammer 1 or Warhammer 2 or Warhammer 3 to experience the Immortal Empires. You can purchase just one of the packs and you will gain access to the Immortal Empires, where you can play with what you have purchased against everything else that's in the companion. So you can purchase just Nagash from your shirt, and you can play as Nagash from your shirt in the Immortal Empires and extinguish the life in this doomed world.
Well, this is surprising. You don't need to buy any of the games. You can just buy DLC and that's it. You don't need to... What? I'm really confused here, because obviously they just did a blog post recently saying that you just need one of the base games, but apparently that's just not the thing anymore. That's really odd. I mean, it's going to be easier for a lot of people to get into the game, and it's very interesting, that's for sure. I can't really comment much on this until we actually see it in action. My big question is, how is this going to work? I've never actually seen a game do this before, I guess. Basically, Warhammer is just technically going free to play, in a sense. Well, the Immortal Empires? Weird, right? It sounds weird to me. That's what... I've replayed that clip constantly, and I'm just very confused.
Total War has a long and storied history, and alongside the game announcements we're sharing with you today, we'd like to reveal more about the latest evolution of the game engine that will be powering our future ambitions. To give you more of an insight into what's going on, I'm joined by Ellie and Roberto from our core technology team. Guys, do you want to do a quick introduction? Maybe Ellie, just tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Ellie Corlander, and I'm the technical art director on Total War.
Perfect, thank you. And Roberto?
I'm Roberto Girali, and I'm the core technology director for Total War.
Perfect. Thank you, guys, and thank you for joining me for this chat today.
Thank you.
So for those who maybe don't know, like me, what is an engine? What does the engine do for Total War?
So it's the tools, it's the toolbox really of the game developers. It's the graphics renderer, it's core gameplay kind of components that the teams build upon to make our game experiences unique. It's the animation system. There's a lot of core features that all of Total War games actually benefit from, and we build upon those in our unique products.
Why is Total War's engine so important?
Well, the engine is the foundation for all our titles, and when we saw the incredible lineup ahead of us, well, we decided that we needed to level up our technology to support these fantastic visions. So it's quite an exciting challenge. We're a small team, we use proprietary tech, but we're really excited to bring something new to Total War. And so today we're happy to reveal the new iteration, the new evolution of the game engine, Worker, and we'd be happy to talk about it today.
I'd scream, but it's like 4 a.m. Because we got sent this like pretty late. But oh my god, finally, finally, they're updating the engine. We're going to be getting a update to the Total War engine, which has been in desperate need for a fair amount of time. This is apparently called the War Core. Let's listen to some details, because obviously with new games being announced, War Core is pretty damn important, right? Like, we need a new engine, and it's been needed for a while. The way I see it, updated engine, this is what loads of companies do, and in fact, Total War has been doing that for a while. Just updated engines is the best way to go because it keeps the fundamentals. I'm assuming they basically just stripped down the current engine and then rebuilt it from the ground up, or at least I hope so, and not leaving like Rome 2 code in there or just random stuff,
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit like the current version of our engine. We started evolving that from 2009, and all the products you've seen since then. We've been iterating on that engine, but we realized that with the lineup of games we had and the features we wanted to deliver, we really had to redesign some of those foundations.
So this is taking what Total War is at its core and then taking it to that next level, like you said, leveling up, right? What does this mean for Total War players? What can they expect to see and experience in future Total War games?
We really wanted to upgrade the type of visuals you could see in the game, to keep, competitive with what everyone else is seeing in other games at the moment. Total War games are rendering so much on screen at the same time. You've got VFX, characters, massive battlefields. So many characters. We really had to rethink, how the techniques we use to render some of that stuff, because we wanted to upgrade the fidelity everywhere. Some of those things include new lighting techniques, dynamic shadowing. We've improved our screen space ambient occlusion, which means you're going to see much more fidelity in the self-shadowing of models on the terrain. Gives it much more realistic feel. The meshes and the textures now, because of improved rendering techniques, we're able to put more fidelity in those things and not compromise on that performance of gameplay. We also have looked at new rendering techniques for VFX, so where you see projectiles, there will be high fidelity because we've now got a new ribbon technology, which means we're not going to have so many overlapping particles. This means it's more performant and means we can get crisper kind of projectile visuals.
Nice.
That looks like a very oddly specific thing, especially like buildings being destroyed. World War I? Right? I don't know, like the way the impact came in, the way the buildings break, maybe that's just me looking into it, but it kind of just looks like World War I. Regardless, right? Like everything that we've been hearing so far sounds really good. Really good. And yeah, I mean, it's been needed for a while. It's starting to look pretty damn good. Lighting has been an issue. I mean, lighting was a big issue for Warhammer 3's launch. It's what caused a lot of lag. So yeah, let's see how this goes. This is sounding pretty damn decent.
Yeah, our players may be familiar with Warscape, which is our renderer, and we've created a new version in Worker powered by DirectX 12.
So it's all going to contribute towards the overall immersion of what our battles are like, I guess, as well. And does this apply to campaign as well? So these kind of like new lighting abilities and things like that we'll have in the game, will people see that across both campaign and battle?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, yes, they will. It'll be across the renderer is kind of like a layer on top of the entire game engine, so you will see improvements in all areas.
Awesome.
On the battle side, we've actually decided to integrate Havoc and the physics system into our gameplay. It means that the buildings are more dynamically destructible. You can then use that as part of your strategic gameplay to sort of pathfind to new areas of the map.
Oh my god, are we finally going to... What? Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Destructible buildings and terrain would be kind of interesting. I mean, not so much for Warhammer 3, really, because, you know, it's all kind of compact, but future games, that would be really interesting, especially, you know, a World War title or anything else that could be announced. Or, well, even just like a medieval title, right? Because, like, sieges and shit like that, that would be freaking awesome.
And the battle AI will also respond to this, so we've rehauled the battle AI to be also able to utilize all these new advancements and be more strategic as well.
So you can use these like destructible environments to your tactical advantage, but also your enemies are going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, the battle AI now, it takes more it takes more of an advantage of reinforcements and more dynamic abilities as well. So it's really leveled up.
Awesome.
For the love of God, if this works as they're saying and like terrain changes or even just AI in general is going to be better, I don't have fireworks in the house. AI has always been a bit of an issue when it comes to battles and so on. It's very easy to trick them. It's very easy for them to get confused. If battle AI is going to get better, oh my god, champagne, like literal champagne.
And what about campaign? Are we going to see a lot of advancements in that area as well?
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into campaign. We've rewritten it to be modular so that each different game can really use these building blocks to create custom, amazing experiences. And with this, like the campaign AI goes hand in hand. So that will also evolve and use what we call a forward model. So it will simulate future states of the game to make better strategic decisions.
I don't want to be a doomer, this all sounds like way too good to be true, but if it is true, holy shit, man. Yeah, that could be amazing, to seeing the AI being able to simulate turns in the future, basically just planning ahead, as long as it's not like cheats, right? Because that's a bit of a problem when it comes to current engine Total War games. If it's them thinking a little bit smarter, there could be a lot of really big potential here. There could be a lot of really cool shit. I would love to see just the AI being smarter and planning out attacks a bit better. In general, just not getting too predictable for different factions where you can just kind of know what they're going to be doing.
What does this mean for animations then?
So we've actually rewritten a lot of our animation system. It's now a graph-based node system, which means we can layer animation behaviors and create more variety and fidelity. Some of the things the players may see is more complex movement like strafing and more complex vehicle movement, something that we've been challenged with our previous version, but we wanted to do more and bring more to the gameplay.
Yeah, the team has really done a great job, I feel, with our new animation system. And there's something else, right?
Yes, of course, with Total War, quite a key part of it is blood and gore. We wanted to make this more visceral, more realistic. What we've done is rewritten some of parts of the dismemberment system, so you'll see more dismemberment, limbs popping off, interacting with terrain and sitting on the terrain, and yeah, very gory and
I feel sorry for the mocap actors there.
We didn't chop them off.
Oh, okay. That's a relief.
New animation system, that sounds incredible. Okay, so yeah, we should be able to see more matched combat and stuff like that, depending on what game it is. Like if we get another, you know, sword and board base game, I'm expecting more match-based combat. Blood and gore, great. It's good to see decapitations and stuff like that. It's important for a Total War game. You know, it's a warfare game. The blood stuff just kind of looks like jam. If it's going to look better, that could really improve the immersion of the game. I know a lot of people lose out on immersion when it comes to, you know, jam. Just loads and loads of jam.
We've talked a lot about all these pretty awesome advancements that are going to be coming to Total War in the future. But Total War, of course, has a 25-year legacy on PC. Does this new engine allow us to look further afield in regards to the hardware we develop for?
Oh yeah, we've been wanting for a bit now to expand our horizons and to bring our franchise to players regardless of the hardware they use. So we're quite happy that the new engine also allows us to take our future titles on PlayStation and Xbox as well as PC. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we can finally allow console players to experience Total War.
Yeah.
But we're still going to be, of course, maintaining that same focus on the deep strategy ethos that we encompass, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to remain true to our soul. So we're not having like a knee-jerk reaction to putting our games on console. We absolutely want to. We love the Total War formula and the complexity, the depth, and this is something that we want to keep regardless of the hardware. So PC players, I don't think they'll see any major changes to the product they love because we love it as well. So yeah, going on console is really a way to expand also to other players.
Great.
Okay, that was probably the most confusing news I've ever seen. I mean, I wonder was Total War on console? That's going to be interesting to see how it changes. There has been loads of strategy games on console. It's been the thing since like PlayStation 1 era. I remember playing Warcraft 2 on the PlayStation 1. It's weird, right? It's weird. I wonder how it's going to go. This is more just me being confused because there's a lot in Total War. Unless consoles nowadays can use like mouse and keyboard extensions and so on, right? Like I don't play console lately. Like I prefer PC because I can do a lot more with it. I wonder what that means for modding too, because like I know consoles can't allow for a lot of modding. There's just like a hard limit for certain games. If that's not going to be too much of an issue, then things could be okay. You know what I mean, right? It just feels odd.
What are we aiming to achieve with Warcore then? What's the goal of this new engine?
Yeah, we wanted to give Total War the strongest foundation it ever had. But really here, we wanted to look at the future. So the engine now is at its infancy, so it will evolve and get better and better over time. But even now, yeah, we feel it's the most powerful foundation we've ever had. And we are thinking long term. So players will see over time more and more improvements coming to it.
Yeah, like Roberto says, it's in its infancy now, but you will see improvements in terms of the rendering, in terms of things like destruction and all those interesting new features. But we want to build upon those in the releases we've got to come. We've got plans to keep iterating on those features.
Yeah, I think players will already see something great, but you're really excited about what they can see even 2, 3, 10 years from now, and that's what we're trying to build, yeah. And it's also something we've built for our staff, so to give them more powerful tools, to be able to create even better games. So yeah, streamline our internal pipelines, make them more efficient.
Okay, we really wanted to improve the developer experience. So we've worked on like unified tools and unified experience and workflows and improving that experience all around.
Good for the players and good for the developers as well. It's a win-win.
From what I've understood here is they're future-proofing the engine, which is really good to hear, actually. It's something that wasn't really done with the current engine. Let's be very honest there. Like, it was based off, Attila, and it just kind of degraded constantly. But that's what happens when just a lot of things come into play. And obviously then switching into Warhammer, and there was something a little bit bombastic there with Three Kingdoms, which was really huge. I'm fairly impressed. Again, hoping that everything stays as expected, but if this is going to be the case, then yeah, this might bode well for the future.
We rule by divine right, and yet our realm is far from holy.
The armies we command paint red the map.
Why fight when hearts and minds are easily swayed?
The realm is ours. Only when our enemies lie dead.
Patience and time will beget our gain.
We are stability,
Dignity.
And authority.
We bear the weight of pain.
end of defeat.
Greatness shall ever define us.
And we shall never
Be forgotten.
Forgotten.
So,
How will you
Shape
Your realm.
How will
you
Make history.
Make
history.
make history.
I mean, I think everyone was kind of expecting this. You know what's really weird, though? It's like, yeah, it's Total War Medieval. They've changed it. It used to be like Medieval 2 Total War and stuff like that. So it's going with a more modern look. Yeah, I mean, Med-free, man. Med-free. This is exciting. This is something that I think a lot of people have been waiting for. It's something that means a lot to the historical fan base. And we do get a little bit of information on that. Not a lot. So we need to just listen to the interview, go in through some detail. It's weird, isn't it? It's absolutely strange after 10 years of Warhammer, basically, and a lot of people crying out for this game. So let's talk about it, yeah?
Yes, Medieval 3 is real. So many of you have long desired a sequel to the special series, and today we're thrilled to confirm that it's in early pre-production. The Medieval series holds a special place in the hearts of many, and this game will be both a tribute to its predecessors and a bold step forward. We're drawing direct inspiration from what made those past games unforgettable, and for it to herald the rebirth of historical Total War. Our vision for the game is ambitious, but clear. We want Medieval 3 to be the definitive Total War experience set in the medieval era. A game where you don't just relive history, you rewrite it. In gameplay terms, that means choosing your realm, forging your legacy, and altering the course of history with a level of player agency we have never achieved before in a Total War title. Now, we are in early pre-production with Med-free, and we're announcing early to take you on our development journey with us, where we can, via blogs and other updates. We've never announced something this early before, and we are excited to engage with you throughout this journey. We have started to build the foundation for Medieval 3, and over time, we will be able to share more about the game as it comes to life. There's a lot more to come, and we can't wait to share it with you. So let's dive in and meet some of the team.
All right, yeah, pre-production. It's not the next Total War game, but it's kind of expected. This is going to take a while, and, well, Creative Assembly are generally quite quick at making games. Hopefully the new engine does move stuff along. So this is going to be really, really interesting to see where it goes, right? They've said it, you know, it's the usual aspect. Remember, Total War has always been about kind of like rewriting history or reliving it. And I think that's really important because at the end of the day, historical fans have been crying out for a proper game for a while. I just hope that it's got all the nooks and crannies that everyone wants, because at the end of the day, they deserve a game for them.
If you're drawing on all this excitement, what is the vision for the game itself?
We want Medieval 3 to be all about rewriting history. And Total War has always been about painting the map, your color, of course, and Medieval 3 will have that as a key element still, but it's no longer the single most important element of your game. Much more ways of how we want players to be able to reach through the window to the world and influence the world around them, and add more ways of how the world speaks back to the player and acknowledges the actions that the player has taken. What Kingdom of England will you create in your campaign? Playing as the Holy Roman Empire, will you be able to unite the empire, or will you perhaps accelerate the fragmentation and form an early Kingdom of Germany? And it's not just about your own realm, it's also about what happens to all the realms in the world. In your game, if the Byzantine Empire falls, what will the consequence be?
I skipped a little bit because it was just them talking about how much they wanted to make Med-free, but this sounds pretty interesting. It looks like there's going to be a lot more than just painting the map, so maybe seeing a little bit more to the campaign. I know a lot of people have been wanting more paradox levels of stuff to do in the back end, and I think that would be kind of cool. It's something that would add a lot more depth. You know, more to diplomacy, more to marriages and everything else. I think, well, that could be useful everywhere, mostly for like stuff like Medieval, where diplomacy take a jump in. I would like to see more events in a Total War game, because that stuff is cool, right? It's like the arrival of the Huns in Attila. That would be nice to see more modernized and see how that could actually play out.
And what about the world itself and the people that live in it? What about the dynamics of urbanization? What about the medieval estates? How will the world develop? So we want Medieval 3 to be that ultimate canvas to tell your own story and to rewrite history.
So you're talking about the medieval era, but that can be quite wide or small era depending on who you ask. So when you say medieval, what do you mean in this game? What's the setting?
I'll say we haven't fixed a start date yet, but we know that like Medieval 2, we want to set the game in the sort of high to late medieval period, 12th to 15th century, maybe a little bit either side. And I've always felt like the high and a little bit of the late period is really the most recognizably true medieval period. It has all the stuff that you might expect to find, like knights and castles. It has crusades, plague, of course. There's the big names like Barbarossa, Saladin, Eleanor of Aquitaine, and of course, Richard the Lionheart. In the east, you have these rising powers, the Ayyubids, the Mamluks, the Mongols, and later the Ottomans. And then in the west, there are these sort of slow and steady kingdoms forming and gaining power, like France and Castile. And then in Central Europe, the Holy Roman Empire is mired by civil war, and the Italian free city-states are forming these sort of bullish trade empires and stalking the Mediterranean. And then there's the sort of somehow still heartbreaking fall of the Byzantines, the East Romans, first at the hand of the Christians in the Fourth Crusade, and then later defeat by the Ottomans. So it's a really rich and vibrant period, and I think it's a great setting for us.
Yeah, basically ticks all the boxes to what I was hoping for. I mean, they haven't settled on anything just yet, but I think other people would agree with me here. It feels like they, yeah, I think more or less they've got what they have planned. I think. It kind of sounds like it, right? I'm not going to comment too much on this, in all honesty. I feel like most of it is just them going into, like, trying to justify what they're picking and all that. Like, blogs will start hopefully soon, well, at some point next year, to go into more detail once they've actually had time to, like, lock in what they really want to do. And I think that's probably for the best. Right now, what they wanted to do is announce it. It's my only fear that it doesn't turn into like a Elder Scrolls 6 situation. You know, it's like, oh yeah, here we are years later and there's nothing. But CA generally work faster, and they know a lot of people want this. Yeah, we'll have to see very, very soon.
Success. Finally, before we end today, we have one last thing to share.
Hi everyone, I'm Attila, game director on the next major title being developed at Creative Assembly. Whilst we are not ready to unveil the project in all of its glory, it represents one of the most ambitious games we have ever worked on as a studio, and we can't wait to share it with you. We would like to invite you to tune in to the Game Awards on December 11th to watch the world premiere announcement trailer for our next Total War title. After that moment, we look forward to sharing more with you. Once again, from all of us today, thank you.
So the next game isn't going to be announced today. The next fantasy title, which many people believe to be 40k, is now being pushed to the Game Awards. Fuck me, man. Hey, I don't like the Game Awards. It's such a freaking, like, smell your own farts event with that Jeff Keighley guy. But, you know, there's a new game on the horizon. We just have to wait a few more days. Yeah. All right. Well, this was cool. The Nagash stuff was very, very cool. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. It's odd to basically say new fantasy titles, unless they're counting the End Times as a title. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion. I should be live on Twitch if you want to pop by, have a chat, you know. There's a lot to talk about. And I'll see you all again very, very soon, guys. Have a good day.